Alright, so the story of G2 started back in 2021. G2 was only a 2-year-old back in 2021, so we really weren't paying much attention to him. And Blaine, Brock, and I, we had already had 3 other deer in mind that we wanted to target. So we did a lot of food plot work, a lot of summer work. We got our trail cameras up around July in 2021. We were all shocked when we saw this deer over my left shoulder we nicknamed Hollywood. He was the first deer we got on camera that summer, and I was fortunate enough to harvest him that first week of October. He ended up gross scoring around 201 inches, and that was a dream come true, and it really kicked off a great deer season for us. 1st of November, Brock ended up shooting a really nice 8-pointer with his bow, and I think that deer went right at 150, a little higher maybe. So, we had already got 2 nice bucks down, and then the rest of the year Brock and I were trying to work to get Blaine a buck. So fast forward to December, Blaine still had his tag in his pocket, and Brock and I were doing everything we could to locate him a buck to target. We got another buddy who was actually trying to get his first deer killed, and he ended up shooting his first deer ever with a crossbow, a really nice 10-pointer. I think that was like December 28th, one of the last days of the season. When he ended up shooting that buck, there was 2 other bucks alongside the deer that he ended up harvesting. There was another really nice 10-pointer in there. So with only 2 days left in the season, we decided to roll the dice, and Blaine got in there, and he was able to put a great shot on another really nice 10-pointer on that permission farm. So that capped off an amazing 2021 season for us. I don't know the exact number of inches, but there's a lot of inches down for us 3 that year. And it just made us extremely excited to get to work that next summer, get food plots in, and get the cameras deployed to get a game plan for 2022. So to start 2022, we were really working on land management and land improvements on 3 or 4 different farms. We did a lot of summer food plot work. We frost seeded actually late in 2021, early 2022, when there was still snow on the ground. We did some clearing of food plots. Really, we just wanted to have a good game plan going into the fall so that we were ready when the time came. We got our cameras out midsummer like we normally do in July. And the farm that G2 lives on, like I said, we really weren't focusing on him. We had, other deer running around up there, and he was just a 2-year-old the year before. And we actually got the first picture of G2 in late August. Now in August, we knew he was a good-looking buck. We knew he was pretty young, but he knew he had all the potential in the world to turn into something real special. So that was exciting. We knew that he wasn't going to be on our hit list that year. But it was just good to see young and up-and-coming bucks, using the farm and using the food plots that we put in. And I was actually focusing, myself on a completely different farm where we had another deer that was world-class caliber. We nicknamed Locust, and I was actually able to harvest him on October 13th, 2022. So back-to-back years with 200-inch deers. You really don't hear that much, but that was just an insane start of the year for us, and we couldn't have been more pumped. So as we were coming down from the highs of getting locusts on the ground, all 3 of us, we knew it was time to get Brock and Blaine back in the stand. And October 2022 was real good to us. We had a really good cold front push through October 28th, and Brock actually ended up harvesting a really nice buck on October 28th morning. So we were pumped about that, and I told Blaine, I said, you got to get in the tree. It's rocking right now. Brock said the same thing. He's seen a lot of bucks move that morning, so Blaine went out that afternoon, and he ended up arrowing a really nice buck as well. So Brock and Blaine both tagged out on October 28th, 2022. And then we were kind of hopeless. We're like, what do we do with our time? And we all had this wild hair, and we said, you know what, it's Mom's turn. So we really were focusing the rest of our year on putting our mom on her first ever buck with a crossbow. She'd never really been deer hunting at all, but that was just an extremely fun time for us. So the deer that we ended up wanting to put my mom on, he actually lived at the same farm as G2, and we nicknamed this buck Talon. And I think we would probably guess him to be at least 7 years old, probably 8. Ever since we got permission on that farm, it feels like he was running it. He was a big bully buck, nothing crazy up top, but just a great deer to try to go after for her first one. And we knew it'd be a challenge because he ruled that farm, and he'd been there for so long. But we really started working on shooting with her. We got the target out in the yard, kind of showed her how to shoot the crossbow, just got her comfortable with it, We ended up getting a bog pod for a box blind that we had over some standing beans there, just to kind of help her be as steady as possible. And Blaine, Brock, and I decided, we'd just take turns going up to the farm with her and take turns filming. Because our whole goal at this point, we really wanted to get this on camera because, that'd just be a memory that we wouldn't forget. So I think Blaine went up there and hunted with her once. I think he was the first one. I think they actually laid their eyes on Talon. I think he just stayed out of range, 120 yards. And they ended up, every time she hunted, it seems like she'd see 25 to 30 deer, which is insane. And, she loved it. It was just constant action. But once she saw that target buck, she was real excited and constantly wanted to get back up there and get in the blind. And so I remember this one morning I went up there with her and I was filming. And this is how this all ties back into the story of G2. We were sitting there, it just broke daylight, and I see this buck coming out of the CRP into the beans, and he's pretty impressive looking. I could see split G2s on both sides, and he kind of crests the hill and comes down, and I could see Mom get the crossbow on him and start aiming, and I basically had to shut the window and say, no, that's not the one. She really wanted to shoot him. But she understood once I said, no, he's still young. That's not the mature one we're going after. So we really that was kind of like the first time I got to lay eyes on G2, and he was within 50 yards, 20 yards, just kept working closer, and that was really cool to see. I knew then that he had the makings to be something real special. But Mom and I kept hunting that day. We again saw Talon. He was out in the field, stayed out there around 120 yards. Just wouldn't come in close enough, and so we ended that hunt on kind of a low note, but it was cool just to see G2 and see Talon. And at this point it was only mid-November, so we knew we had plenty of time to get her on Talon and get her a shot. So it was Brock's turn to film our mom. It was actually November 18th, and it was a real cold morning. They went up to the farm and got in well before daylight, and they were planning an all-day sit. They started seeing deer right away, and it really wasn't until midday when the action really picked up. You see him? Yep, that's Talon, Mama. Are you on him, Mom? How far is he? Yeah, that. Alright, I'm on him. Whenever you want. You hit him. You smoked him. Smoked him, Mom.
Did I?
Yes, you smoked him. You smoked him.
Yeah, that's my bad. I wasn't really familiar with the camera at the time.
I'm like dead positive. I'm dead positive. Watch me. Watch me before I call Bailey. Watch.
No, I saw it go in his chest.
Don't call me. I smoked him. Yes.
I'm pretty sure she smoked him.
He's pretty sure I smoked him. He saw it go in his chest.
At 60 yards.
60 yards, baby.
I saw a mule kick.
60 yards. Yes. Yeah, your mom did it.
That's a big one. Look at the body. But that hunt all in all was just so amazing, being there with my mom, which is a thing I never thought she would do, is go, climb in a deer blind and hunt with us. But she made a beautiful shot on that buck. It was 70 yards and absolutely double-lunged him, and he only went 40 yards. And we were so excited right after it, and we called Blaine, we called Bailey, we called my dad, and she was freaking out, which I was just so awesome to see. But all in all, that's a memory I'll never forget, and it's something that I'll cherish.
Alright, so February 2023, we all set out to the farm that G2 lived on to do a big shed hunt in hopes of either finding G2 sheds or some other bucks that we knew were still running around the farm. We didn't have very high hopes because it seemed like every year G2 would kind of disappear towards the end of December, and we really wouldn't see him until, you know, October or even November. When he was younger, he showed up in the summertime and kind of hung around, but seemed like as he got older, his range pushed, and he wouldn't show back up until, you know, mid-October-ish normally. So we ended up looking for sheds. We found a few decent sheds, but we couldn't find his. But in the back of our mind, you know, we still knew that he was going to be 4 coming up that fall. So we probably weren't going to be targeting G2 as a buck that we wanted to go after anyways. But it's just kind of cool to try to put the pieces together. So fast forward, you know, summertime rolls around. We got our same game plan, get the food plots in, get the ground worked up. At this point, we're still working with our farmer up there. He's planting beans and corn. We're just getting everything ready for the fall. We had another farm that we started focusing on. We got some summer pictures of this buck we called Superstar, and I was really excited to kind of go after him. We knew that we weren't going to be targeting G2 that fall, so you know, Blaine and I kind of put all our chips on filming and hunting Superstar. So end of October, I was working. I sent Blaine out for a scouting mission, just an observation sit over a cut cornfield, and I think it was probably 300, 400 yards away. He saw Superstar come out, confirmed he was still alive at that point, and he looked real good. And you know, that just got us so excited. We instantly went in there the next day, hung a new set for him in hopes to get after him, and just started hunting hard.
Well, it's 3 o'clock. Feels like 100 degrees. November 18th. I don't know. time of the year's right, weather's wrong, but we're gonna get in here and see if we can't find Superstar.
So after spending, I don't know, probably 120, 140 hours in the tree, all through the peak rut, chasing Superstar or the Big Nine, we just had no luck. I mean, we didn't have any trail cam pictures of them, no footage, no encounters. We were seeing deer every hunt. We had some great encounters with some younger bucks, but we had no idea what happened. You know, we still have no idea to this day. They never showed back up. We don't know if they got shot on another farm or if they got locked up possibly, because we had pictures of them, and Blaine actually saw him 2 days before we went in there, hung that stand and hunted. And we were real clean getting that stand hung. We just never saw him. So that really threw a wrench in our November. So at this point, it's late November, the weekend of Thanksgiving. We had a couple other bucks show up on the farm that G2's on. So we knew there was at least 2 mature bucks using the farm that G2 lived on. We knew we weren't going to target G2, but we had a buck that we called Fluffy. He was just a big 8-pointer, real big body, real mature. And then we had another deer that we called Paddle. We called him Paddle because he just kind of had palmation like crazy on one of his sides. It literally reminded us of a moose paddle. So I left that week of work, spent the whole week at Thanksgiving, leading up to Thanksgiving and after, spending time on the farm that G2 lived on in hopes to catch up with either Paddle or Fluffy.
Alright, we're settled in here. It was kind of a fiasco getting back up in here. I had at least 1 buck and 2 does bedded right underneath me here. And I just kind of held the light on them, and they didn't really spook too bad. They just trotted off back in the timber, so as I was setting up, I could hear deer walking through the corn right here. I don't know if this is a good one for this spot or not. This is the first time I've actually set this spot. I probably hung the stand 5 years ago. We came in last weekend and changed the traps on it and cut some lanes because it's just a big cedar. But really, we just got a bedding area back here over my right shoulder. We got a destination boot out to the left. I'm probably gonna do a couple has unbelievable frame, great tine length. Really weak on the brows, but I'm just hoping he makes it through rifle season and we'll see what he turns into next year, because, man, that was cool. I was getting ready to rattle, like I told you guys, and then I heard one footstep back behind me. I thought it was a footstep, so I sat here for a little bit, and then I heard another footstep, and then I heard grunt, 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 grunt. So I grabbed my grunt call and faced it back towards his timber and grunted. And he came in here, I had him at 12 yards broadside. I know the tree was covering him for the first little bit that you guys could see, but I could see him. Well, I couldn't shoot there, but once he stepped up, I mean, he was 12 yards, quartering away broadside, so you can't shoot the big ones at age 5. You shoot them at age 3, so we'll see. He might be a 4-year-old. I'll have to look back at some pictures, but I know last year he wasn't anywhere near there. He probably grew 30 inches this year, so exciting start to the morning. It's still real cold. He had frost all over his back, so we're gonna sit here and see what happens.
So after an unsuccessful week up there at the farm, I was feeling pretty down, but I wasn't very discouraged. I knew that if I just kept putting in time, hopefully I'd get a chance. We knew we had the food, but just kind of seemed like the weather wasn't right. I ended up spending the whole rest of December. Anytime I could get up there, it's about an hour drive from where we live, so it's tough just to kind of jump up there for an evening hunt, especially when it gets dark so soon. But anytime I could, I'd go up there and try to get a shot at either fluffy or paddle, and it really never happened for me. I ended up eating a tag in 2023 for the first time in, 6-7 years, but fortunately Blaine's real good with buzzer beaters, and he actually self-filmed himself shooting a really nice 8-pointer the last 5 minutes of the season. I think it was on New Year's Eve. So we ended up ending 2023 on a high note. Blaine kind of saved us there. Brock also, he ate tag soup as well that year. He never got a shot at a buck. So 2023 is a little bit of a bummer, but Blaine ended up saving it in the end.
Alrighty, it is December 9th right now. We're out here at Ricky's Permission Piece, and the season's not been going the way we expected it to. Not a lot of mature deer showing up. But in one final act of desperation, I'm out here gonna set up a saddle stand, got some corn and a new camera. We're about probably 100 yards from his east stand on this property, where we've seen a lot of good deer movement, and this is my first time actually walking it, and it's got scrapes and rubs all over. So I got high hopes here. We're gonna put some corn down, put a camera up, and get this saddle hung. So stay tuned, and time to get to work. So I got the saddle stand set up. As you can see, only took me about 30 minutes. I got tough climbing sticks. I need to get better ones, but we got that set up. Gonna go get the corn out, gonna get the trail camera out, and we're gonna try to get out of here. Alrighty, it is December 15th here in Kansas. We're once again back out here. Well, it is the last day of season here for bucks. It's about 5:20. It's time to make some coffee and then head to the stand. We've had some target bucks rolling through in there all night. It's real cold this morning, good wind. I think I could get it done, but last day of season. This is all or nothing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Last day of the season. Last sit. I don't even know what time it is. 5:26. We have like 8 minutes till legal shooting light is over. That is insane, dude. I have grinded all year trying to get a buck down, and we just did it, man. God, it feels so good, dude. That buck, haven't ever seen him before. He doesn't live on this property, but he gave me too good of a chance. I couldn't pass it up. Let's go, dude. Come on. It is January 1st. We got back out here today, and we finally found him. We stumbled on him because the blood wasn't spraying too much, but Buddy Jackson stumbled upon him over here in the CRP. He only went 150 yards, but like I said, he just wasn't bleeding a lot, so it's hard to track him through that open field. But we got it done. Got it done last 10 minutes of the season. I mean, I just couldn't be more happy. I'm so grateful for everyone who came out and helped me with it. And exit hole on him right there. Just tore him up, but he just wasn't bleeding a lot.
So we were all excited that Blaine was able to fill his tag, kind of put a bow on what was overall a pretty tough season for us. But with the new year, it did bring some good news, as we got trail cam pictures of G2 in mid-January, and he was looking as healthy as ever. All right, early 2024, we were really excited to get out and look for sheds or really just improve the farm in any way possible. We all tossed around some ideas. After I, had tag soup the year before, and so did Brock, We really thought it was in our best interest to do some more work to the farm that G2 lived on, make it more accessible. So our game plan was on the side of our standing beans that was up against the CRP, we were going to put in a tower blind. So Brock, Blaine, and I, we all put our carpentry hands together. We built a probably 12-foot tower, and we put a box blind up on top of it, and we got that set up in midsummer, and it looked great. And our beans were coming up good with the help of our farmer. We had a mixture of turnips, radishes, and sugar beets spread out on the rest of our food plots throughout the farm. At this point, we're real excited to see what G2 looks like. We know that he's going to be a deer that we want to target, in 2024 as a 5-year-old. So now we decided to get the cameras up, and it was really just a waiting game. It seems like month after month went by. July, no pictures of G2. August, no pictures of G2. September, no pictures of G2. And at this point, bow season's opened. We're getting a little bit worried. We know that he's done this in the past, but he normally shows up mid-October. And as we're creeping through September, we're getting some pictures of some other bucks on different farms. Our farmer helped us out and gave us permission on one of his new 80s that he had. So Brock and I actually spent a lot of time over there at his place, and there were some really nice bucks we were chasing. Throughout September, still nothing. Got into October. We were really hoping that G2 would make an appearance on the farm. We really had 0 shooters on the farm at this point, which was kind of astounding. It's not what we expected. We kind of put a lot of our eggs into one basket, and he was a no-show through the middle of October again this year, and we started to get worried. So at this point, it's the first week of November. Blaine is actually on his way back from Canada. He was filming some waterfowl stuff up north for a couple months, and Brock and I aren't too tech savvy. We're not great behind the camera by ourselves, so we spent a lot of time hunting together. And we decided we were going to go up to the farm. We were going to spend 4 or 5 days up there that first week of November and just see what happens. We know that you got to be in the right spot at the right time. Even though we had no pictures of anything mature on the farm at this point, we still just, that was the best chance we had. We put in all that work in the summer, so that's where we decided to go. So at this point, it's Saturday night, November 9th. Brock and I, to be honest with you, we got our butts handed to us all weekend in the woods. Saturday morning, we called Mom and Dad and asked them if they wanted to come up and hang out with us. Because plain and simply, we'd been spending a lot of time in the woods, not a lot to show for it. So they came up, we had a campfire. We knew we had a bad wind for the 80 on Sunday morning, and there was still nothing coming on the farm. So we decided we were going to take the morning off, sleep in. We had a campfire. I think we watched some college football and just had a good time. And wake up the next morning, November 10th, still nothing, ironically, still nothing on camera. Looks like we didn't miss anything, and so at this point it's Sunday, so we start packing up to go home. Alright, well, what is it? It's Sunday, November 10th. We were actually about to pack up for the weekend and head back home. We hadn't had any of our shooters on camera, but literally as we were pulling out of the driveway, G2 showed back up for the first time this year. He was in the bean field at 9:10 in the morning. It's currently 11:30. We didn't get those pictures until 30 minutes ago because we had the cameras on the send every three hour cycle. But Brock stayed back with me. Mom and Dad went ahead and went back home. They pulled the camper home. Brock and I are going to go sit in the blind, and we're going to sit the rest of the day. He's on a doe. He is as big as we would hoped. Haven't got a great look at the camera photos. We've requested the high-res pics, but they haven't came through yet. But our wind is decent. We're hoping the blind helps conceal it, and we're hoping that they bedded to the north in the thick bedding there. And our hope is that they just come back out. She wants to come back and feed, and he just follows her behind her. But we'll see here. So we're gonna slip up there now, sneak in the blind, gonna go no boots, just dark colored tops. Just try to be as stealthy as possible, and just kind of hang out and wait, and we'll see what happens. We'll bring you along for the ride. So.
Smoke him. Smoke him. Oh, he's gonna go down. I'm on him still. I'm on him. Good job. Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. He's wobbling, I think. I think he's... Yep. He's gone. He's gone. He's about to fall. He's about to fall. There he went. Dude, give me sign. Let's go. What a hunt, dude. Great job. Oh my god, dude. You double on him. Oh my god. Let's go. Awesome. Oh my. You just killed a giant. Just smoked him. He went. Oh, he only went 20 yards. He's piled up. You see it? Oh my god. We've been in here since 11 a.m. Since 11 a.m. And we just got it done, dude. I just drilled it, baby's dead. Oh, I smoked it. Everything's on video. Everything's on video. He's huge. Damn, he's been his ass. He's been a big buck.
Completely coated. Oh my gosh, look at the mass. It's cool because I passed this deer last year, wanting to get one more year on him. Oh my gosh, dude. What a cool buck. Hey, he's still got his split over here. Alright guys, we got him pulled out here. He only went probably 15, 20 yards, you think, Brooke?
Yeah.
We got the blind behind us. It's just awesome how this all worked out. Couldn't be more thankful. I passed this deer last year in November. We knew he had a lot of potential, and it was a tough pass for sure, but we wanted to see what one more year would do on him. We always bet on the deer, and this year we were super worried. They hadn't showed up. We were looking for him and a couple other ones that were pretty regular last year, and actually there should be 4 shooters, and we hadn't had any of them. And Brock and I had a good weekend. We hunted a little bit this weekend, did some scouting, but I mean, it's tough to go sit when you haven't had any intel. You've been seeing the same young bucks over and over again, and we were actually packing up to head home this morning. We're gonna go watch the Chiefs game at home, and I just checked the trail camera app, and sure enough, this is a deer we call G2. He was in our beans following a doe at like 9 o'clock, 9:10 in the morning, and Brock and I were just blown away. So instantly our plans changed. We stopped everything we were doing, threw their camo on, and we got in the blind at, we saw the picture probably at 10:20, 10:30, and we were in the blind at 11 o'clock. And we planned to sit all day. We figured he was bedded close, and as you can see in the footage, he was within 50 yards.
Yeah.
50 yards of us, probably bedded with that doe, and you could just hear him trashing trees in there. And I think he was running other bucks off, and we just couldn't get him to step out of the thicket. And that was early. It was like 4 o'clock. And as the night went on, we had deer just pile out in front of us. We probably saw 30, 35 deer. It was unbelievable sit. And 5 o'clock came here. I told Brock, I said, we got 40 minutes of legal left. And it wasn't probably 10 more minutes, 5:10. Hear something trashing through the woods. See 2 does come out, and he's right behind them. And I'm just super thankful that he came in and gave me a good shot, and I was able to make the shot. And couldn't be more happy. Just blessed for the opportunity. Want to thank my wife for putting up with me, looking at all the trail camera pictures, let me do this all the time. Blaine behind the big camera, Brock, he laid down some awesome footage tonight, and that was sweet.
That was cool.
Mom and Dad, our farmer Bruce, everybody that helps, buddies. Bruce planted these beans for us, and he has been the last couple years, and it's just been dynamite having the standing grain in here. And the proof's in the pudding when you see that many deer out here feeding. You know, we came in here with some buddies this summer and planted some green fields that didn't take off just because of the drought, but actually they're starting to sprout now in November with how hot it's been, and they're coming up good. And you know, we had does out there feeding all night. So, anyways, enough rambling. Just super ecstatic and thankful for this buck. He's gorgeous. I don't know what he's going to score. That really doesn't matter. It's just cool that, you know, we had a plan to pass this deer last year. We did that. We bet on him. It was a scare that he hadn't showed up in a while, and he ended up showing up, and I'm super glad he did. So I really hoped you guys enjoyed this kind of whole saga that we had for this particular deer we named G2. I know we threw a lot of deer in there. This is just kind of a hobby that Blaine, Brock, and I kind of got into. You know, we just love being outdoors, and you know, we saw Blaine's talents with the camera, and you know, how smooth he is with editing, and we just knew that, you know, we see some things that not a lot of people get experience, and you know, we've been very fortunate to go after some really nice bucks. So if you guys like what you saw, we'd really appreciate it if you like this video and then subscribed. We're going to do our best to, you know, keep throwing content out there, keep throwing videos out there. I know we got a lot of turkey hunts filmed, some more deer that we got our eyes on, and a lot more. So
yeah, should be good.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.